Welcome to CarBites. We're on episode 1.2 now, I believe. I'm Patrick Janes, general manager of a couple of great franchises here in the Shenandoah Valley. And today we're going to help you, as we've tried to in the last couple episodes, take a bite out of the buying process. So, first of all, you start these little blogs here and you do this video effort and you get everybody's, a critique. So I've already been through my critiques. I personally haven't even looked at the first couple of episodes, but apparently the ladies in the office decided that they should view it, and they didn't even turn the volume on, of course. They didn't care what I had to say. They just wanted to see what I was doing. So I am now got this little habit going on where apparently I shrug my shoulders and I fidget and do all these things. So I'm working very hard to keep that in check. So once I heard that, I said, well, obviously, that is a responsibility of my director, producer, and cinematographer, the able-bodied Matt Rexroad, which you heard about last time. So I fired Matt. The reason that I fired Matt is because he should be behind that camera telling me when I'm starting to look like an idiot. So I went home that evening, told my wife I had to fire Matt today. I don't know where the future of the blog and the video's gone. And she began to tell me, Matt's such a nice boy. He volunteers for Young Life in the Valley. He helps high school children. You're an idiot. Threw the pillow at me, and I walked slowly to the couch for my evening slumber. Now, I just got back from a seminar, and it's actually where I got the idea of doing this video blog. And they had a guest speaker there from Zappos.com, which is an amazing company. They sell shoes and free shipping to and from. I've already, just from that seminar, bought 3 or 4 pairs of shoes from them. And I learned a lot from that company, and they talked about their human resources area and their culture of their company. And the one thing that I took away from them is that they said that they fire quickly and hire slowly. So I fired quickly. I got rid of Matt, but I took a very, very slow walk to the couch that evening and turned around and decided it was more important for me to sleep with my wife that night than to sleep on the couch, so I called Matt up and I hired him back. So I'm paying attention to the seminar. I just want you to know that I'm learning. So Matt is here. He's behind the camera again. He obviously knows that if I start doing strange things that he's supposed to correct me. So anyways, let's move on, because what we want to talk about today is really something that I touched upon in the first episodes, which I think we got some feedback that confused people a little bit. And when I said, we talked about pricing, which everybody's always interested in, and I said, the manufacturer actually has more margin or more opportunity to discount the vehicle than the dealership does. And this is true. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've been on the manufacturer side, I've been on the dealership side. And one thing I can tell you is on the dealership side, and here's a typical invoice from a dealership. This is a $30,000 vehicle, is the MSRP. And you can see on here that a $30,315 vehicle has an invoice, what the dealer pays, of $28,443. So less than $2,000 difference between the MSRP and what the dealer actually pays. So this figure here stays fairly constant. But what changes is the manufacturer has the ability to raise and lower incentives on a regular basis. And I want to explain that to you today, because here's kind of how the manufacturer rolls out a vehicle fairly traditionally. They come out and they say, all right, we've got a new product, new styling, new design, and we want to enter the marketplace very aggressively. We know that there are other cars, here are the cars that we have to compete with and that we need to try to steal market share from. So what they typically do is they price the car on the money. They put the MSRP at a price point that the car has high value. When the car comes in and you do a comparison on your internet to what the other MSRPs are of comparable cars in that segment, they have a tendency to be lower, okay, because they're trying to steal market share. And you say, well, gosh, I can buy a Nissan Altima for $23,000, but the Honda Accord is $24,500. Wow, that's a big difference. I need to look at the Nissan Altima. What happens, though, as that car is out in the marketplace over time and the styling gets to be more outdated, it's going deeper into its life cycle, then they start to increase the price of the vehicle, which is kind of interesting because you would think that they would lower the price. Well, actually, they do. They increase the MSRP, and then they tend to come back with more incentives. So the transaction price, which is really the point of which you can buy the vehicle. So let's say the MSRP is $23,500 on this vehicle, and then they come out with a 2012 model and they move it to $24,000. But then right out of the gate, they put $1,000 or a $1,500 rebate on that vehicle, which drops the transaction price now back down to $22,500, $23,000, which is where the vehicle is going to be competitive. Now, what does this mean to you?